Welcome everyone. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. It's not been even a week and Siddaramaiah government in Karnataka has already landed in a soup. Silicon Valley of India, Bengaluru was inundated after heavy rains. A 22-year-old techie from Andhra Pradesh lost her life after she got stuck in a flooded underpass along with her family. The Chief Minister has assured of strict action and a case has been registered against the BBMP. Karnataka government has also announced a compensation of 5 lakh rupees to Bhanu Rekha's kin. But what this incident has done is served a reminder of how difficult it is to correct the infrastructure woes of the city. Amidst all of this, a school teacher from Chitradurga was suspended after he criticized Congress's 5 guarantees and the debt that they will rake up. Now, is this how the Congress government and the party will deal with criticism is the question that arises. A party that talks of dissent all the time, curtailing a free-thinking citizen's speech? How does this look? But here's the kicker. After coming to power on the back of those 5 guarantees promised to the electorate in no uncertain terms, Minister Priyank Kharge has now explained all the terms and conditions that apply on them so that it doesn't burden the exchequer. Now the government remembers how these guarantees can't be given to all and will become a burden otherwise. Given that this is the first few days of the new Congress government in power, we ask tonight, will the Congress be really able to handle the infrastructure woes of Bengaluru especially? Can the Siddaramaiah government address pothole and waterlogging menace in the state? And is the shine of their guarantees already rubbing off? We'll take those questions to our guests in just a bit. Look at the visuals from the spot where the 22-year-old girl lost her life. Now, she was travelling to Cubbon Park along with her family when the car got stuck under this flooded KR Circle underpass. The commuters above the underpass noticed this and tried to help them. Few of them even tied saris and dupattas together and put them down, while others called the fire engine services as well. Later, the fire engine service workers arrived at the spot. They rescued 5 of the people in the car. A few minutes later, even Bhanu Rekha was rescued, but it seemed like it was already too late by then. Meanwhile, as I mentioned, in another ominous sign, a Karnataka school teacher has been suspended just because he criticized Phoebe Portal of politics in the state. The teacher has also criticized Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in this Facebook post. The post mentioned loans incurred by former Karnataka Chief Ministers and how the state deficit rose to 2.42 lakh crores last time Siddaramaiah was Chief Minister. Now the BJP has hit out at the Congress asking if the truth has pinched them. The Congress only responded by saying that the teacher might have violated a rule. Now, after suspending Shantamurthy MG for violating the Karnataka Civil Services Conduct Rules 1966, the School Education Department in Karnataka has also ordered an inquiry into the matter. Speaking of those guarantees, it seems like the other shoe has finally dropped. For many of those guarantees promised by the Congress party, the government has now added riders. Now, some of them had riders to begin with, but some have now come to light. For example, the Congress promised 200 units of free power to all houses per month. But the catch is you will only get this benefit if your total consumption is below 200 units to begin with, not even 1 unit above that. Congress promised free travel for women in government buses. It's becoming clearer now that this will be applicable in only select buses and only for daily commutes and not include semi-deluxe or luxury buses. Congress had also promised 10 kilograms of rice to every person in a BPL family per month. Now ministers say it will be applicable per family and not each member. On top of that, the free 5 kilograms rice, which are under the central scheme currently, are also included in this 10 kilograms of rice that are to be given free. So let's take forward this big issue with our guest joining us in just a bit. The top focus, though, is can the new Congress government handle infrastructure woes, or is this going to be apathy continued, especially for Bengaluru?
Sad incident that 22-year-old girl lost her life. So this is that car in which this whole incident took place. After that, this vehicle that got stuck in the waterlogged underpass.
ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನೆಗ್ಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅಥವಾ ವಿಳಂಬ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ವಿಳಂಬ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿಸೋಣ. ದಟಪಾರ್ಡ್ ಅದೊಂದು ಭಾಗ. ಈಗ ಎರಡನೇ ಭಾಗ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಪಾಪ ಅವರು ಮಳೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಂಡು ನೀರಿಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಂಡು ಕಾರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ
timely action by the BBMP could have saved the life. There is some lapses. That has to be really looked into.
ನಿನ್ನೆ ಆಗಿರುವ ಘಟನೆ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಬಹಳ ಅಹಿತಕರವಾಗಿ ಘಟನೆ ನಡೆದಿದೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ KR ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಪಾಸ್.
Now, when Bhanu Rekha's car was stuck in that underpass, News18's Manjunath was actually on the spot reporting live as well. He even spoke to her family members. Before we speak to Manjunath on what actually transpired in this horrific accident, take a look at this report.
ಶ್ರುತಿ, ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಒಬ್ರು ಅಜ್ಜಿಯನ್ನ ರೆಸ್ಕ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾವು ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇಬ್ರು ಪೊಲೀಸರನ್ನ ಅಡ್ಡ ಹಾಕಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ ಪೊಲೀಸರಿಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಬಂದು ಒಳಗಡೆಗೆ ಜಂಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಲ್ಯಾಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಅಜ್ಜಿಯನ್ನ ರೆಸ್ಕ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಬಹುದು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಮಹಿಳೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ರೆಸ್ಕ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬರ್ದಿದೆ. ಈಗ ಅವರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಒಂದು ರೆಸ್ಕ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಲ್ಯಾಡರ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಒಂದು ಏಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಕತ್ತಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಮಕ್ಕಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಕಳಿಸಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ರೆಸ್ಕ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಇನ್ನ ವಿಚಾರವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಒಂದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ ಇದೆ. ಕಾರ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕಾರ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆಯೋ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಬ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ BBMP ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ತೆರಳುತ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಮಳೆಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ಸು. ಅವರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅಡ್ಡ ಹಾಕಿದ್ವಿ. ಅವ್ರ 3 ಜನ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದು ಒಂದು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಿಜುವಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ఎక్కడికి వస్తుంటారు మీరు? ఎక్కడికా కబన్పర్ చూసాక వచ్చిండ్రా? ఏ ఊరు మీది? ఏ ఊరు ఆంధ్రాలో ఏ ఊరు? ವಾಹನ ವಸ್ತುಂದಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಳೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರು ನೀವು ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದ್ರಿ? ಎಂಟು ಜನ ಉಂಟ್ರಿ ಲೋಪಲ ಕಾರ್ ಲೋಪಲ? 6 ఎవరు ఎవరు?
I want to go across to my colleague Manjunath, who was actually an eyewitness to this entire tragedy. And, you know, it adds almost to the tragedy, Manjunath, that this family is not even from Bengaluru, not even from Karnataka. They're actually visitors from Andhra Pradesh and, you know, they've lost a family member, a young girl's life like this. Can you describe to our viewers, Manjunath, exactly what happened? I believe you were also one of those people who alerted the police and the fire services. So how much time did all of this take once you realized the car was stuck?
Definitely, Shivani. I'll explain each and everything yesterday what happened exactly. Within 20 minutes, there a lot of tragedy was happened in Bengaluru. That too, right now I am in the spot where yesterday the flooded was happened and one lady has been dead over here. 22 years of lady. She was working in Infosys. Right now in the same location I am there because yesterday exactly at 3:55 I got a call from input saying that assignment is saying that cover the rain visuals. But I was near to just far away from here, from this location. There is a far away, just 2 kilometers away, Vidhan Sauda. From there I came to here. This spot I can show you the spot where vehicles has been moving. There I stopped my car on the road and I came here with the umbrella and I was standing outside and my VJ Sunil and the driver was taking the visuals of the rain on the road and all. It was heavy flooded. Later I was getting a screaming loud voice saying that save us. Like 3 to 4 women were screaming a lot. And I was searching where the voice was coming. Then this was the underpass where I came to a corner of underpass where a two-wheeler guy was standing on the underpass. Right now we can see there. I stand there and just bend down and look it out. No one was able to see. Then I rushed from there to here. Exactly it was 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock 5 minutes it was here. I was standing here and I came to this spot, exactly in this spot. Then later I saw the visuals through my eyes, like saying that they were all 6 women were showing the hands, saying that save us. But the cab driver Harish was on the car. He was also calling us, saying that save us sir, because I was in the umbrella. Then I rushed to the half of the bridge, but the flooding was very more and it was around, you can see the little bit of water flowing also. I mean, it's like the wall, everything is still wet. 15 feet it was going on. Then I started searching help from the public. I could have been went this road. I have begged for 150 to 200 vehicles of all cars, auto rickshaws, two-wheelers, asking them who knows swimming, who knows swimming, who knows swimming. They were like, some people were denying. We want to, sir, it's a heavy rain. We don't want to take a risk in our life. Then later, by 4:10 or 4:15, I think so, Shavani, I got a rescue team. QRT team was on the way to a metro station on their job. Actually, I made them to stop there, and I said them, sir, the family of 6 ladies were being stuck in the underpass, and car is still drawing. It's heavy rain is coming, flooding there. They're shouting for the help. Help them. Immediately, within a fraction of a second, those QRT guys, thanks to them, right now also I'm saying from the News18, because the immediately fraction of a second, they started running from this way and they were running towards the ladies. After that, they started swimming from, you can see the guys who are standing there, from there to there, maximum it's 100 meters. They started swimming for 100 meters per long. After that, they were asking for the rope. But later, when we went to the upside of this particular bridge, later we asked for the public, we need a rope or else not, or else something. But I tried to give like this kind of even wire also, but wire was not reaching to them. Later, recently the CM and DCM, they took an oath. We tried to pulling out their banners, the sticks, everything. After that, one lady came and she opened a sari in the road itself and she threw the sari to save them. But the sari was not able to reach the ladies who were stuck inside the car and flowing the thing, water flooded. So after that, we tried to pull them out by localites, but could not. Then later, after seeing this, immediately I called many of the police officials, including our right now he's an IGP Praveen Sood also, and I have informed to the fire. I called 112 emergency landline number. I called even fire people. They came just, it's 2 kilometers away. They came 8 to 10 minutes late. Before that, they could have been reached the spot within 2 to 3 minutes. I think one of the lady who has lost her life, they could she should
Yes,
have been
in fact,
saved it by them.
Speaking
Later,
of that
they
young
put the double-side
22-year-old
ladder at
techie,
the
Manjunath, what we've also been informed is that actually she was rescued alive and was taken to a hospital, but was declared dead there. So was there some delay in everything that transpired? Was there a delay at the hospital as well?
Shivani, actually, when we got the information, the driver was saying due to panic, they were screaming out. Later, it's a car was fully, means like an automatic car, and it was fully sensorized. Once the water went inside the car was fully locked, and they could not open their windows because the engine was not working, and the engine was completely switched off. Later, the girl who was sitting the behind last seat, means it's a Xylo vehicle, like Innova kind of a vehicle, they have to bend the seat and they have to go back. But this girl, everywhere out of the car while breaking the glass, this girl was behind the last seat because she was 22-year-old. She was sitting at the last. But driver called her to come out, but she could not able to move because her leg was stuck in the backside seat. Then when she was inside the car itself, the water was flooded heavily inside and she was not able to come out. By the time when she was rescued and she was taken to the hospital, people were saying she was breathing, but she could not able to hear any problem. She was not responding. By the time when she was shifted to Martha's hospital, the doctors were denied to take her inside. But the doctors, when we asked the doctors what will happen, so what has happened when she came, she said that the pulse rate was nothing and she was not able to breathe like that. She was, doctor was saying. But when we reached the spot and we asked the particular auto driver, and the auto driver was also saying, sir, she was breathing. We kept begging them to the doctor, saying that take her inside. But the hospital people, they denied because it's a police case and MLC, until unless police.
This is just absolutely shocking, Manjunath. As shocking is the fact that this small underpass got flooded to the extent in one day's rain where people got stuck and died. Is equally shocking the fact that the hospital did not show any urgency in saving this young woman's life. I will, of course, ask the government representatives what they plan to do about this callous behavior. But I do want to ask you, while Bengaluru is becoming notorious for flooding, even if it's unseasonal rains, right now the rainy season hasn't even kicked in, I do want to understand, what's the particular status of this underpass? Is it notorious for flooding every time? And has there been anything done in the past few years to correct this situation? Manjunath, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you, Shivani.
Yes, I just wanted to ask very quickly, what is the situation of this particular underpass?
Shivani?
Does it get flooded every year, every time there are rains? Has there been any measures to correct this situation?
Definitely, Shivani, I can just say you this underpass, every time it rains, most of the two-wheelers, they just use it, and because of one signal, they used to escape from that signal, they use this underpass, most of the motorist vehicles and four-wheeler car people. But most of the times when the police also say them when the rains, please don't use this underpass, they knows that because I'll go near to the, if possible, I'm just walking near that underpass, I'll show you. Yesterday it was 30 meters of rain, and there was a small pipe where the water cannot go as soon as when the rain comes together, because one side I'm showing the flowing water comes from the other part of the road, and another one you can see the upside where the water will come from that side also. So both the side there is no proper drainage system where the water can flow narrowly outside of this underpass. Right now I'm into that underpass only. I can show you where exactly the car was parked and where the car was switched off. I mean, it's like suddenly it got engine off. So this is the underpass. I can show you where the car, there is only small kind of place where water can flow outside, but they could not able to see. This is the spot, Shivani, exactly yesterday was happened. It was just, see, right now it's just 10 feet away. So the water cannot go outside from this part, and police have many times have been intimated to the BBMP officials saying that please close the underpass when it rains. But police also sometimes it rains, the two-wheeler and four-wheeler people, they remove the barricade and they use this underpass because of to escape a small narrow of a signal of 60 seconds. But why the people of Bengaluru motorists and four-wheeler people, they use this underpass to go very soon to residents, I don't know. Because police also now they are saying like that only, sir, we have put the barricade. But even putting that barricade also, they get down from their car and bikes, they pull it aside and they use this bridge for even it rains heavily also. But
okay, but were there barricades yesterday? Manjunath, were there barricades before this underpass yesterday when this accident took place?
Near Cantonment railway station, there is one more underpass and hello?
Yes, Manjunath, was there a barricade yesterday? Looks like I've lost that line, but we'll leave it at that. Manjunath, I do thank you for joining us and bringing us all of those updates. It's one apathy after another. One flooded underpass that clearly gets flooded every time. And then there are, of course, reports of the hospital denying quick admission to the young girl as well. Let's take this to our guests joining us. I'm joined by Anand Gurumurthy of the BJP, Dhruv Jatti of the Congress Party, Brinda Adige, a social activist based in the state. Also, Saurabh, Civic Activist. He's co-founder of PotholeR. Let me go across to the Congress representative first. Dhruv, I think it's just a reminder that it's much, much harder to be in governance. I know that you will say that your government has just been sworn in and you can't be held guilty for what has happened. But, you know, governance is much, much harder than criticizing, you know, all of the apathy that when you're in opposition. What does your government plan to do about this?
I mean, it's not about just saying it, but it's a fact that we've just taken the helm of governments very recently. It's just been less than a week. So on this entire issue, if you or anybody else were there in Bangalore, you would know that while the weather was so pleasant and calm, out of nowhere it turned into something like a dramatic Hollywood movie. What you see on air, and trees shaking, hailstorm, ice. It was pretty bad. It was a very, very unprecedented situation as to what we saw yesterday. Now, I don't want to indulge in political rhetoric simply because I believe that this is an issue of what I would say urban planning and policy implications on the whole. And speaking about it from a policy perspective, the question, arises irrespective of political parties as to for how long we are going to be looking at short-term fixes over long-term solutions. And that's something that we have to keep in mind, because I'll tell you something as well, because see, if you look at Bangalore's situation for the past 1 year at least, something that the city relies on a lot is a strong municipality, because you cannot, let alone legislators who have to sit in Vidhan Sauda to come and address issues such as drainages, such as clogging of roads, etc. That is to be dealt with the corporation and with the cooperators. And you should look at the track record yourself, and you will realize that for very clear political reasons, the BBMP elections were delayed, and that delay has resulted in what I would say.
Okay, let me
tragic
just quickly
incidents
give
over the
Anand
past 1
Gurumurthy
year.
an opportunity to respond to that. This is basically the legacy left after 3.5 years of your government.
First of all, our condolences to the family which has lost a person. Okay, and no matter how much we say, legacy and other things, we have to understand there are two reforms which are pending. Okay, from a very long time, and this needs political consensus. Whenever we try to do it, political consensus doesn't happen. Number one is there are very good engineers within BBMP and KPWD. Some of them are even IITians. Some of them are from IIT Kharagpur. What are they doing? You are investigative journalists. Go and see what these IITians and IIT Kharagpur, NIT Kharagpur people are, doing within BBMP. You will see that they are just writing files. They are not in executive posts. This is the apathy from the last 11 years. You have to go and do this investigative journalism, all in News18 or anybody. Okay, please do this. What are the IITians? What are
but why couldn't you fix it?
Engineers doing in BBMP? Okay, they must be brought in front and put into executive positions, because this is not a very big thing to deal with. There are cities which get more rainfall. There are cities which get worse environmental effects, but they're around the world. They're handled in a very good way. The problem here is there is a political consensus needed to bring in engineers of those caliber into very good executive positions.
And what's the second reform?
It's growing at a very fast pace.
Anandji, please. Second reform. What is the other thing?
Second thing, very important thing is it is being led by an IAS officer, which I have totally opposed. It should be led by an engineer. The chief engineer still reports to the IAS officer, which brings in a lot of clash within the framework. An engineer should lead the BBMP. An engineer should lead an engineering division.
Fair enough, but why is this wisdom being circulated now? Why is this wisdom being circulated now? You were in power for 3.5 years.
That is what I'm trying to tell you. Whenever that reform had to be done, right, it has to pass through a legislation, Madam Shivani Gupta. It has to pass through a legislation. There needs to be a political consensus on this. Because the reason is, even you see, even during the corona time, we have talked about this. These medical departments have to be led by doctors, district surgeons, and other state.
Are you saying that the Congress didn't allow for these reforms?
No. Wait a minute. These are the people who must lead. Any medical related thing has to be led by doctors. Any engineering thing has to be led by engineers, not by administrative.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give Dhruv Jatti an opportunity to respond to that. One second. Let me go across to a couple of other panelists on our show. Brinda Adige, what also really shocked me was that actually this girl was rescued alive. She may have been in a precarious situation medically. But as my correspondent was also mentioning, Manjunath, the hospital dilly-dallied in admitting her. Now, I don't understand how people can have that level of apathy.
I continue to say that we should not use the word apathy. We must use the word criminal negligence, impunity. Because if that hospital doctors refused, the impunity is that they are not going to be penalized. They are never going to be punished. There is no accountability. So the other panelists said that, we must have an engineer, we must have a doctor to handle the specific areas. At the end of the day, where is your accountability? Your job doesn't go. Your salary continues to be there. Your perks are there. Your promotion continues. So where are you pulled up? It is not that it got flooded only yesterday. It was flooded last year also. What did the government do? What did the BBMP chief do? Can he not ask for an expert to rectify it and change its course and do the needful repairs? What stops that person from signing such an order? Nothing stops. He doesn't have to be an engineer to sign an order to rectify that. He understands as a common sense that is not okay and it has to be repaired. You cannot tell that why did the public go there? Why do they want to skip off a signal light? No, you use my money to do a shoddy job and now you need to rectify that. And you want to wait that the citizens must sacrifice our lives, pay our taxes and keep mum?
No, this brings me to the other aspect I wanted to highlight. The government of the day, which is now the Congress, has just pawned this off to the driver. In fact, the driver has had an FIR against him.
I think we need to file an FIR against every person who built that. Every person, including the BBMP chief.
Clearly without drilling.
Hold on, I didn't disturb you. File an FIR on all of them. Why are we not filing an FIR for a shoddy job that is done and no repairs done? How dare you use our money, make something like that is a shoddy job, and then you say we put barricades so the public must not go there. Give the money that you have spent. You have taken our money. How can you file an FIR on the driver? Okay, maybe you must because he went on to that thing. But why is an FIR not being filed on all the people?
So there are some BBMP officials on which an FIR has also been lodged. But you are right. I want to take that to Saurabh also. What we ultimately see is that some lowly officers will have either suspensions or action against them. But it was really the top brass that should pay for this. Unless that happens, nothing will change, Saurabh.
See, if you look into the infrastructure, whether it is Bangalore or Bombay, I think, our large cities have not been designed to carry, the rainwater of this capacity. Whenever there is a, shower for at least, continuously for an hour or two, this becomes a news every now and then, which shouldn't happen if you ask me honestly. And a lot of these underpasses that we see, I have also seen personally, it gets flooded within no time. That completely needs an overhaul. I think, as per our understanding, the time at which they were constructed, they were solving the problem at that point of time, but no longer it is solving the problem at the current situation. And if I think some of the panelists have already mentioned that if the intent is there, the action has to be taken in a very fast-track manner, because this is not something that can go on for years together. There are enough methods, there are enough techniques, technology that completely change, and the reconstruction of the entire thing can happen in a very fast manner.
Okay. On that note,
how efficiently are we doing that? And are we really intending to do that on before the monsoon arrives?
Exactly. That was going to be my next question to Dhruv. Now, the monsoons are going to, of course, make an onset. It is going to be a challenge for your government, after all the criticism you've done for 3.5 years, to deliver. What's the plan?
No, surely. See, I agree. I agree with what you're trying to say. Quickly, just to respond to a couple of points that were made earlier, the FIR was made by the family, not by the Congress, and that was against the driver simply because that these tourists who had come were not from Bangalore, they were from outside Bangalore.
But I believe a government representative has also said that the driver shouldn't have gone there.
He went to cross the barricade and go through the magic box for a quick short road. And I agree with what with Miss Brinda is saying in terms of the whole thing being a policy matter. It is surely a huge policy matter, and we should be looking at it, in a more
Okay, please come to my question. Aren't you on test before the next monsoons? Because this is an yearly phenomenon in Bengaluru.
Yeah, so coming to that, see, you have to look at the Sarva Janagata Shanti Tota. You'll have it at the page number 500, and you'll have it at page number 58. We've put across 5 important points that specifically tackle this issue of what I would say congestion, transport, and mobility. And keeping that in mind, the party is working towards preparing themselves for the monsoon rains, and it is going to be a difficult period, no doubt, because we've seen how Bangalore has suffered tremendously. But let's not forget that we did not have a BBMP for the past 2.5 years, and that is a real question that we should be asking. Because
speaking of your promises, I want to just quickly take a response from you, Dhruv. I want to quickly take a response from you on the promises that the Congress government has come to power on the back of, especially those 5 guarantees. Now, a lot of riders are coming in on those guarantees, and I mentioned them at the start of the show. What explains this? That you, during electioneering, announce as if it's for everyone, or certainly more number of people who will eventually benefit when you implement it. Is that not, is that not fooling the public? It's outright dhoka.
Not at all, Shivani. I mean, see, it's a very simple and logical question. You tell me, do you want these benefits to be given to beneficiaries or to people who do not require it. It's as
But why did you announce it like it was for
simple as that.
everyone?
And if the Congress Party is looking, at aiming at beneficiaries, that's the right decision that's taken by the party. And I don't think there's any sort of question as to that. And if we are looking at targeted beneficiaries, we're looking at the people who are most in need. It's as simple as that. If there are people who don't require it, who don't want it.
But why didn't you make that
that's where the
explicit
question
when
comes.
you announce these guarantees? People should know now whether they're going to be a beneficiary or not. For example, the 10 kilograms rice. Your guarantee card makes it to be that every person in a BPL family will get it. Today, it is only one person per family. How
No,
is that
Shivani,
okay?
I think we're choking on our words because we haven't even come out with the exact plan of action, and you should be waiting for that. You should know that the
These are
cabinet
your
has
ministers who
already
told
taken a
News18
decision on
this.
it.
I'm not making this up.
Shivani, see, you have to be a bit more patient. It's been just a week. I understand it's very, interesting to criticize the Congress government and its 5 guarantees, but you have to be a bit more patient.
No,
for a
why
government
should I
like
be
the Bharatiya
patient?
Janata Party
Your
that was-
government
that
said it
was-
will be done the moment you are in power. Why should I be patient? You are the one who raised
Yes, Shivani,
expectations.
I'm sure.
No,
you
you are
also
the one
had a
who
look
raised
at
these
what happened,
expectations,
right?
and then you say, let everybody be patient. Don't you have sense?
Shivani,
It will
what
go to the
happened
beneficiary.
what
You
happened
didn't announce it like
what
that.
happened right after the oath-taking ceremony? Right after the oath-taking ceremony, you had the chief minister, the deputy chief minister, sit in Vidhan Sabha and approve these guarantees that the Congress
So why
Party
should I
will
not
promise.
ask questions
Now-
on that? You've approved them. I
No,
want to
please
know
ask
what the
questions.
contours
Please
are.
ask questions. Please ask questions. There's no problem with asking questions, but patience and also remembering that beneficiaries who these schemes
I
go
have no
to
problem
is
with that,
very
but it
important
wasn't quite
because
announced
you
like
have to understand.
only targeted economic beneficiaries will get these. It was almost announced that it was for a wider public reach. But anyways, let Mr. Anand come in here.
See, the Congress benefits from the last 60 years when they have ruled. It's always for the congressmen, their Congress workers, or some social activists who support them. That's all Congress benefits that's for. It's not for the people of India who really need it. Congress has always been like this, and they have always done this. They have always cheated people. People will know it in a few days.
A quick response, Shivani, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
If that was the case, then the people of Karnataka would have not given you 65 seats. We have double the number of seats of yours. That's simply because they had the trust in the Congress government prior to what
Let's see, Mr.
came and stole and purchased
Let's
MLAs.
see,
And that's the
Mr.
reason we have
Dhruv
been brought into power. And if not for anything, you will see yourself as to how these guarantees are fulfilled.
Yes. We will be watching and you will be also watching. So please watch it, okay?
Okay.
Sure.
And
Let
please
me
do
bring
the
in my other
mathematics
panelist
and,
also in this. Brinda Adige, if this is not enough, that the fact that now we're hearing of new riders, for example, for women, free travel in state buses as well. There's a rider on that too, by the way. But there's a school teacher who criticized this model of politics. He has named not just current Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, but his previous stint and other chief ministers as well. That teacher gets suspended. I'm appalled. We need teachers who bring this level of thought in school students. This is exactly what young children should be talking about in their classrooms. And what is the precedent being set? That school teacher gets suspended for voicing that opinion on his private Facebook post?
Right.
Absolutely. How is it that the Congress decides that you will suspend somebody for a comment and an opinion and a view? Is that not one of our fundamental rights?
Precisely.
You get upset that there was a comment made and you suspend that person, and that person now has to say all kinds of things. But that apart, were you not voted into power because you promised to uphold constitutional principles and values? At this rate, you say you're going with the same previous government, that there will be no telecast of all your discussions and stuff like that. What is it that you're different? How is it that we should continue our trust in you? Because you're continuing the same
don't bring
things.
in. Brinda, you're talking all lies, okay? Which government has banned you from talking?
Lies?
No government, no
lies?
previous government has done anything like that, Brinda. Don't come in with, false allegations on any government. Talk
There
about
are
the
no
issue right
false
now.
allegations. Hold
Charge
on.
You're
against the
just
former
bringing in
government.
something which is
Hold
totally
on.
false,
You
Brinda.
said free buses for women. Okay, one. Now you want to say only the daily commuters. So those who don't go every day do not have that benefit. One. Two, you have suspended that teacher because of a comment the teacher made. Now you can say that is a disciplinary action taken by the department. But are you also saying that nobody can if you are in a government service, you cannot give your opinion and you cannot comment about the government at all? Is that what
was
you're trying
actually
to say?
the BJP representative opposing to you, I think, something you said about previous governments. But let's leave that aside. That question you're asking is actually to the current Congress government. Let me quickly
I'm
bring
asking
in
the current government. Why,
yeah, absolutely.
why the suspension?
Absolutely. Saurabh, let me give you an opportunity as well. Yeah, Dhruv, one second. You know, what I don't understand is that what kind of citizens do you want? People who don't talk about the fact that freebies are being promised during elections. That's not possible. People should be talking about it. You know, at one level, politicians are like, oh, we want a very informed electorate and we want an educated electorate. The moment somebody voices their opinion, they lose their job. This is hypocrisy of the worst kind. This is precisely the issue that young students should be debating in classrooms.
True. Very true.
I think, you know, the current generation, if you look into the current generation specifically, people are quite woke, right? In fact, if you ask them not to do something, they will actually do, you know, specifically that. And with the kind of information that is available for us all across, you know, I'm actually surprised. You know, as you rightly said, you know, last 1 week, the discussion that is happening even in my circle is about all the, you know, the election manifesto related things that they will be provided and all those things will be provided. I'm actually not surprised that suddenly it's come out that it will be selected about, you know, for this section and that section, because at large, that's what happens post-election. So I think I'm taking that with no surprise at all. I'll be really happy if all those things are fulfilled, because people will largely benefit from that.
Well, we didn't really know how it will be fulfilled because the cost to the exchequer would be too high. Besides, there are precedents where governments or parties have promised this before elections, and in many of those states, at least 2 examples I can give, those guarantees haven't been fulfilled. So this is becoming a vicious cycle, frankly, but we'll debate quote-unquote freebie politics another day. I thank our guests for joining us. I have to move on.